everybody! Welcome back to another episode of our Facebook Live, and today I have with me Dhaniah, who's our matchmaker.
Hello!
And today's topic is something that's really interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's about microcheating. Yeah, have you guys heard about microcheating? Yes. So today we are going to discuss, is microcheating still cheating? So maybe before we go into that, Dhaniah, have you heard about the term microcheating?
I've heard of like people doing these kind of behaviors, but with first time hearing the term microcheating itself. But the behaviors of microcheating are quite standard that I hear from my friends.
Okay. So maybe we just share with our viewers, right? Like according to like this therapist from Maryland, so her name is Lindsay Hoskins. So she mentioned that she's a couples therapist, and she said that microcheating refers to a set of behaviors, like what Dhaniah has said, that flirts with the line between faithfulness and unfaithfulness. But it is hard to define it because what is considered cheating is actually different based on different people's values. So for example, you know, like from Tinder swiping for fun to like flirting with a cute stranger, you know, while waiting to buy a Starbucks coffee, or like maybe this could be considered like micro-cheating, but from a different person's point of view, they might think it's perfectly normal and it's something that they do on a day-to-day basis. So like what we said just now, it really depends on someone's values and relationship priorities. So examples of micro-cheating, for example, like lying about your relationship status. So like maybe when you're talking to someone and like you think this person is kind of cute, and then like when the person kind of say, are you attached, and you're like, you know, I'm kind of still dating around. Okay. Or even like sharing secrets with someone that you're attracted to outside of your relationship. So instead of like, you know, once like something happened, be it like a good thing or a bad thing, like instead of sharing you know, firstly with your partner, to like be sharing with someone else. Yeah. And also growing too friendly with a co-worker. Or maybe even frequent text or social media communication with a possible, you know, like previous flame. So what are your thoughts?
To be honest, some are quite interesting, like growing too close to a co-worker, like especially in a company where everyone's very close to each other, so you think, oh, this wouldn't be micro-cheating. So, but then there are some that are quite straightforward, like saying that you're single when you're not.
Yeah, or like maybe some people who are married, they like intentionally take up their like wedding band when they go for events or activities.
Yeah, so I mean like all these behaviors are quite standard, but I think at the end it's really about why is the person doing this.
Yeah, for sure. For yourself personally, right, like where is the line for cheating? Like, so for example, like let's say your partner is found doing any of the above. Like what are the ones that you kind of feel like, oh, I think that's okay, or like which one is like outright like, no, I think like that's so wrong, you know, like there must be something wrong in our relationship, we need to have a talk.
It's true. I think personally for myself, I would say the moment that like if you know something will make the person doubt you as your partner, then that will be something that you need to reflect on. Maybe it's not exactly micro-cheating, but it can be an indicator that there is something that you need to reflect on your values and priorities. So let's say for example, like hanging out with, like for me as a female, hang out with a guy friend alone, it's gonna stir doubt in my boyfriend, for example. So maybe I should reflect whether this is the kind of behavior I should continue.
Okay, interesting. So I think for me it also depends on like how the partner is, as in, because you know, like some people, they are really very friendly, they are like very extroverted, so for them maybe, you know, it's very common that when they are hanging out with females, like they are quite close, like not because they are trying something funny, but generally they are just like very touchy-feely kind of people, and the other party feels comfortable with it as well. They don't feel like you're trying anything funny. But at the same time, I guess, you know, if like the partner is someone who's usually like very detached, very aloof, and suddenly, you know, becoming like very touchy-feely with someone, then there might be, you know, some problems there. The next part that we would like to go into is our favorite part, which is agree or disagree. Okay, so we have like a few statements here, so let's see, you know, whether Dhaniah and I agree on these statements. So the first one is, flirting with someone outside your relationship is harmless. Okay, so let's take out our agree or disagree, and don't look at each other's answer.
Okay.
And 1, 2, 3. Yay! So what do you say?
Disagree. Oh, okay, we're on the same page.
Yeah. You want to explain why?
I think when the question asks like, is flirting outside relationship harmless? Like, I think the first thing you have would be like, oh, I'm not cheating exactly, so it's harmless. But if you think about it in terms of your partner's feelings or the behavior you continue, it can be harmful long term. Like once you start this behavior, you might I guess it's more like a rolling effect. Like you start getting engaged in more and more serious behaviors because you keep thinking it's okay, to the point that you might actually commit something that's really not okay in a relationship.
I agree with you. So I think like it's definitely not harmless because again it's the intention of the person. It's like, so first and foremost, why are you engaging in this behavior? Like what are you hoping to get out of it? And of course most importantly, like how would your partner feel about it? Yeah, so it's like if it's going to create like distrust, or if it's going to create unhappiness, or it's going to create like you know, a lot of hurt, like definitely, you know, to be in a meaningful and a happy and fulfilling relationship, like those are the last things that we want to be causing our partner. Yeah. So the second question we have is micro-cheating indicates that someone is already thinking about having a full-blown affair. This is an interesting one. Yes. Okay, so again, we don't know each other, okay?
Okay.
And then 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're different.
We're different. Okay.
Do you want to share
Okay,
yours?
I'll share mine. Okay, so I feel that okay, I'll just read the statement again for those of you who are thinking why we are, you know, actually have a conflict this time. Okay, so micro-cheating indicates that someone is already thinking about having a full-blown affair. I disagree is because I think like sometimes people might think that these small things like it's just harmless, or they might think that they are not happy and they're trying to seek attention. So it could be like, you know, doing some of these small things, maybe they hope that their partner will realize that, oh, you know, like this person is not happy, and maybe to force a conversation or really force a discussion about it. So I don't think that it's always that just because they are doing this, it's like at the back of their mind they're already thinking like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have an affair. So this could actually be an opener for a deep discussion to really understand like what are the root problems of the relationship.
I agree. It could be like a cry for saying that please value me more, because there are other people that could be like paying attention to me, but I want you to pay more attention to me. Okay, that's interesting. Alright. Why I agree is because I guess micro-cheating in a sense is about toying the line between, like as mentioned, the faithfulness and unfaithfulness. So it's sort of like you're playing with that boundary that you're attached, but you sort of like have this like invisible cover that you can still flirt and then fall back. Yes. So I guess in a sense it's like when you have this intention, it means that when there is the right opportunity, you are willing to go into that affair as well. Okay. So like you don't use your relationship as like a line to actually catch you back. You start actually really toying with the idea. When you start with the idea, you really start actually going into it.
So it's like kind of like a floodgate or like a slippery slope. Like once you get started, like it's quite easy to just kind of like,
definitely. Then once the opportunity comes around, like you really find someone that you connect with, then it could start something that is not very healthy between two people.
So what would be your advice for like you know, if you have clients or even like friends, you know, who like come to you and say that they are toying with the idea of micro-cheating with someone else? Okay. I mean, I hope we never get this question.
I hope
but
so
at the same time, you know, who knows? You know, like there might be people, be it our clients or like, you know, our viewers out there right now, that they might be in such a dilemma.
I guess I think a lot of my friends who do come to this, they don't realize it's micro-cheating. So that's the first part.
Okay.
So I think the first step is always to make it aware. What are they doing and how they're actually harming their relationship. So I think like for example, if they're texting a guy, then they tell you like, oh, I feel very happy texting this guy, then I think you have to also let them know like, you know, what if your boyfriend sees this, wouldn't you feel a bit concerned about his reaction? Not that he'll be like exaggerate his reactions, but wouldn't he feel hurt or doubtful about your actual intentions with this person? I think for clients, which is definitely what we do here, we will ask them what is their priorities in the relationship. Is there a reason why they are doing this? So I think a lot of self-reflection is important, because ultimately their behavior is a reflection of what they are feeling inside. If they're doing this, and as you mentioned, they could be crying for help, or trying to get their partner to value them more.
Yeah.
So self-reflection and awareness is very important.
Okay. So I think, you know, based on what I've heard, be it from like clients or even from friends, like when I start to hear some of this micro cheating sort of behavior, like I always ask them this question. I'm like, are you playing with fire? Yeah. So I think sometimes, like you say, it's like they might not be aware, but I think sometimes like they are kind of aware, but they just feel that, you know, I won't get burned. I mean, maybe you won't get burned, but the chances of getting burned is also very high.
It's true.
Yeah. So I think with that, you know, I just want to alert them to, hey, you know, like you are really playing with fire, and is this really something that you want to go down? Like, are you willing to live with the consequences?
That's true.
So I think, you know, if it's something that you know, suddenly they're like, oh my goodness, you know, like, actually I really value like my partner, I really value my spouse, and yeah, you're right, you know, what am I doing? Then I think that's great, you know, like there's still maybe some hope.
Yes.
But if they're kind of like, you know, it's okay, we'll just kind of see how it goes, then I'll get really concerned.
Yes.
Yeah, because like you say just now, this could just be a slippery slope, and it's just like a disaster waiting to happen. Yeah, and I think ultimately, you know, again back to our viewers who might be watching this, I think it's just so important to find the right one.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I think in a way that is also the start of everything. So I think, you know, if we are with the right person, and you know, like if we are constantly like really spending time to you know, really grow that relationship, then I think it's much easier to stay away from microcheating.
Definitely.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching this episode. I hope you have learned more about microcheating and how to stay far away from it. And please continue to watch our next episode. Bye.
Bye.